Greetings, everybody. I'm Scott Rodell here at the Great River Taoist Center, and this is the first in a series. We're going to look at this Yangjia Michuan Taiji Jian spear form. So we're going to break it down, of course, into a whole bunch of short courses for you. And today we're going to start with just the core or fundamental movements, this Kai Ho Fa. So it's going to be open, seize, and thrust. So I'll just show you a couple movements quickly, and then we'll go over them in detail. And we're really looking at especially the shoulder position because you can easily hyperextend your shoulder or elbow joints training with the spear, and we want to make sure you don't do that. So from a ready position here, it's going to be open, close, and thrust, and back to ready. So open, close, or I should say seize, and thrust. So it's Kai Ho Fa. And I'm doing this from a thrust with the rear leg. So again, it's Kai Ho Fa. As I do that release, the Fa, you can see I'm raising my front heel. So it's Kai Ho Fa, right? And again, here, it's Kai Ho Fa, and back to ready. All right, now we can also do the same set of movements, this open, seize, release from the front leg. So we're going to be here, Kai Ho and Fa, and then back, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and back to ready. So those are the three movements. You can count those as the foundation movements for the spear. This Kai and Ho are often more typically responded as Lan and Na. So if you've practiced some other spear forms or you see other forms, you'll see that that's common. First thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to switch up. You'll see, of course, I have several spears here. The reason I'm calling it a spear, by the way, even though it doesn't have a tip, is this is really similar to, or the way you use it is like a pike. I'm holding it at the end, right? I'm not holding it in the middle. It's at the end of the shaft. And I'm using that tip to thrust and hit, all right? You also see as we go through the form that we can strike with the shaft as well as spear with the tip. First thing I want to pay attention to, and I'm going to change up to different spears here, and I would definitely suggest that anybody new to this start with something like this. It's not much bigger than a pool cue, really. Had all of these custom made. So this one's not very tall at all. Maybe 6 foot, and it tapers. Typically with the spear, it's going to taper. If you have, of course, as they get longer, they're more difficult to use, they're heavier. You know, it's going to be tougher on your joints. So really good idea to start with a short one. I'm going to be using a short one sometimes because just in the space here in the Wuguan, if I don't, I'm going to take out one of the lights or poke a hole in the wall. But also so I can get close, you can see what I can do without hitting the camera. I want to use this short one. First thing I want you to pay attention to is that when you're doing your thrust and you're coming out like this, here I'm going to be this way, should point out that you're starting with that not behind your body, but on the hip. When I'm here like this and I'm thrusting out, what's really important is that your elbows kind of crank down like this. There's a lot of power when you're thrusting out like this, boom, here, when you're coming forward, there's a lot of pull, right? There's really, really yanking your arms forward. So you want to make sure that as you do this, you turn your palms up, your elbows drop in like this. This is really important. Many times I've taught the spear to students, new students, and what happens? I tell them, take it slow, take it easy. Don't try to do a lot of power at first. And, you know, everybody gets a little excited doing it. And then sure enough, they, boom, put a lot of power into it. That spear gets going, it weighs several pounds, it yanks the arm, and they end up hyperextending the shoulder or the elbow. So start with something light. It's a really good idea. Of course, also indoors, I got to be careful. I use a shorter one like this, so I don't put a hole in the wall. And it's going to be, whenever you're thrusting, you're spiraling up for that thrust, you really got your elbows down. So compared, I just push my sleeves up here, you can see my elbow as it comes down. It's really quite down like that. So it's not even to the side a little bit. Both elbows are really cranked down. Okay? So the first movement is going to be a coiling movement. You probably already noticed that as I'm doing these movements, I'm spiraling up and I'm spiraling down. So really those are the first two movements, and we can just practice those. So my front heel's off the floor, so that as I spiral up, the foot can follow my movement. Boom, boom, like this. I'm using both hands as I spiral up and both hands as I spiral down. I keep the body upright, don't want to lean back this way. So as I'm doing my movement, I shouldn't be arching my back like this. I shouldn't be leaning forward. Body stays upright. So I'm spiraling up and spiraling down and spiraling up and spiraling down. The movement of the spear tip is about a beach ball size as it goes side to side. From here, I'm going to be like this. So 1, 2. And if you have a mirror, make sure you're far enough back from the mirror so you don't hit it. You're going to go to just outside because this is going to be primarily and initially used as a deflecting kind of movement. So you can imagine if a spear is coming at me, or if somebody had a meow dao or dan dao and they're trying to get in and come in here and strike down on my body, or maybe even strike to my hand. More typically with a sword, they're going to try to get to my hand. From here, as that cut's coming in to my side here, I'm going to deflect it out. So it's this turning movement like this. So I don't want to go way over there because, yeah, I will have hit their sword way to the side, but of course I've opened myself up quite a bit and my intention is over there. I want to just coil here like this. Boom. So again, thrust is coming in toward my left shoulder here because I have my right hand here at the rear. That's right by my hip. I'm going to spiral up and there. So just think of that first movement. Push it to the side. Boom. Off to the side. Now you're probably noticing here, hopefully from camera you can see that I'm bringing the spear to just a fist distance from my chest. Go to my shorter spear here again. By getting in close here, you can see that as I coil up, I'm just this fist distance from my chest. So I'm here, I'm going to coil up and hit out like this. Boom, and a bump there. All right. Look at it from the other side here. I'm coiling up here. So don't tap your chest with your spear, just there and down. Right? And it's good to break these movements down. 1, 2, deflect, one at a time. Right? When we're working with any weapon, part of the purpose of training with weapons is to develop our body mechanics, of course, strengthen the body, and develop different kinds of fudging. So here we have this coiling kind of energy. I'm spiraling up here. I think a useful way to think about it, an easy way, is if you had a beach towel that was really wet and you wanted to wring it out. You wouldn't just pull it. You're going to do both directions. And I wouldn't just pull one or the other. Both hands would be moving. So as I go here and I stretch it open, both hands are moving to the opposite directions. It's not one common mistake is to kind of just move around that rear hand. I want to have both hands spiraling up. And as you can see that, both palms are going to be down when I start. And as I spiral up, pivoting on my toe, they're both going up. So both are down. I should say down it. And this one's sort of facing to your hip. Of course, it goes around the spear. So it's like that. And I'm going to coil up like this. And then down. So both hands are expanding. Both hands are going apart as I coil up. And they're both contracting as I spiral down. And all of that, of course, is controlled by the waist acting through the spine. So the power comes up through the spine and then compresses back down the spine. Here my waist is about 45 degrees. And as I spiral up, I'm going to go straight out to that cardinal. Don't go past. Just like when you're doing a thrust, there's a little tendency to kind of go a little too far and then start arching the back. Watch out for that. We don't want to do that. So from here, just for that first movement, again, I'm going to hold the spear at the end, have that on my hip. I'm here, up, boom, like this. And I'm finishing that movement just a fist from my chest, right? Don't bump it. Don't have it too far out. So just here, hands are, the tip of the sword is going to be just at my throat level. Coccyx is dropped. Breathing in dantian. Eyes and head up. Coil up. Boom, like this. And don't go too far. keep your coccyx loose, keep the butt hanging down, the Wei-lu down, and notice my spear is level to the ground here, okay? So that's my ready position, and that's the open, okay? The closing movement, or the seize movement, should say seize, not really close, is back the other direction. So we opened and then seized. So I'm going to come, you can imagine, spear attack, sword attack, whatever, coming to the right side, coming kind of over your spear. So if I were, let's say if I had done this movement and I deflected that way, maybe another spearman is going to come around and try to poke me into to the right side here, maybe my shoulder, my head, this side. So from here, after I opened, whole seize back. So it's going to be 1 and then 2. So that seizing motion has that kind of compressing. Here we went open, spiraling up, keep the coccyx hanging down, keep the body vertical, bringing it just to a fist from the chest, and then we're going to spiral down, compressing there, right? So it's going to be spiral up, and this is going to go pretty far back. The hand is, don't make it real taut, not too hard on the wrist, but really going to pull it back, almost fully extended. So I'm going to be here and then down, okay? So if we look at that again, so I'm here, it's going to be 1, 2, the spiral up and spiral down. Again, sometimes I put a little juice in it so you can see how it goes, but at home, you're starting this off, take your time. Also notice my elbow is staying loose, right? When I came back down there, I come into the whole movement, there's still a little bit crook in my elbow. Don't lock that out, make it tight. Also notice position of my hand right on top of the shaft there. So I'm coming down, boom, like this. So again, it's open, seize, open, seize, open, seize, open, seize. Spiral up, spiral down, spiral up, spiral down, spiral up, spiral down. And I'm putting my hand by my hip, but don't bang your hip. Notice that some people do this, the spear way back here, which, I don't know, maybe that feels a little more stable to them. The problem is, think about a strike. Think about why we're training the spear. One of the things we get out of the spear is really powerful strike or push, really get a lot of power out of a push. How do we do that? Especially in Taiji training. Where's our strength training? Right here. This is our strength training. If you can be here and put that in there, of course, that develops a good, powerful palm strike, a good, powerful push. So this is our strength training. Nobody strikes from back here, strike from your body, right? We say brush knee strike, for example, come in, boom. You don't brush knee strike with your arm way back here behind your body. So I would suggest, instead of having that way back here, put that on your hip, and you can really spring the power through the body, right? So that's our fa, releasing movement. So let's put it all together, nice and slow to start. And you will notice, of course, I've been doing it all right-handed, but you must be able to switch up and do things left and right, left and right. So from here, just put them all together, nice and slow. Good idea. Take a moment sometimes. Let loose. Fang Sung. Make sure you're really sinking into the ground. Tip of the sword in your ready position is just, I shouldn't say, excuse me, tip of the sword, tip of the spear, right on line with the throat. Notice a slight bend in my left elbow here, sinking in the rear leg. About 10% of my weight in the front. And you notice my front heel is slightly off the ground. I spiral up, spiral down, spring straight in. Spiral up, spiral down, and spring. Spiral up, spiral down, spring. Spiral up, spiral down, spring. So it's Kai Ho Fa. And that is open, seize, release. Open, seize, release. Open, seize, release. You notice here, even though it's a fairly long spear, I have no trouble holding it up. Boom. It's because of body mechanics. So again, let's go back just remind you of something we talked about earlier that's very important, is that as you spring up, you want to really make sure your elbows are dropping. So from here, I'm 1, 2, now my weight's on my back, 3, both hands go out. Palms are both up. Then from there, right from there, I spiral up more. Hands well behind my body here. Spiral down. There's that compression. Spring up. We'll look at it on the other side here. Going to be from a ready position. Boom. Hands by my hip. I'm spiraling up. Kai. Ho. Notice my elbow. Loose. Fa. Elbows really cranked down there, right? Elbows down. Right? Palms are straight up. And then from there, a little bit more up. Right? There's your spiral up. Spiral down. Thrust. So spiral, boom, spiral up. Both hands moving all the time. Spiral down and up. Again, a very common beginner's mistake is just sort of have that front hand just sort of like an oar lock and just be going, move it around the hand. It's the whole body springing together, okay? And if I do it, I should be working both sides. So we can spin that around. Got my left hand back. Tip is right at the throat level. At my hand at my hip, rear hand at my hip. Front elbow is bent. But just take it nice and slow. It's going to be kai, ho, fa, kai, ho, fa, kai, ho. Elbows going to go down on your thrust. No problem. Just holding it there nice and steady. And back to ready. Okay. All right. So these are the core movements. We can also use the opening and seizing movements as striking movements. In other words, I can standardly, especially in the beginning, it's good to think of them as deflect and thrust, but they can also be hit. So we can jab, poke, thrust with the tip, but also you can strike with the spear shaft. So if my Duifang has, it doesn't matter, sword or another spear, if the spear is coming into me, I may strike the shaft, knock it down. Preferably, I'd hit the hands. I can hit the hands to either side. So you get a good hit with the shaft of your spear anywhere along that shaft to the Duifang's hands. This also works quite well if Duifang has a sword. If you have a spear and your Duifang has a sword, what do they got to do? They got to really get in on you to try to get to your hands first, and then maybe they can get to the body. As they're doing that and they're coming in, sometimes, maybe they've gotten past your spear tip, you can, as they get in, hit to the arm or even hit to the head of the body with the shaft of the spear. Of course, if you're sparring with somebody with weapons like this, you have to have on a really good amount of armor. Make sure you know what you're doing, have good solid helmets and so on, or you're going to really hurt each other. So don't do that even lightly. There's a lot of power in the spear. All right, what about the front-legged thrust? We were doing our thrust, the fa, from the rear leg. So we're sunk there, right? Heel is free and springing up. And you'll notice as I sprung up, my heel also lifted. We can also thrust off the front leg. You'll notice my stance isn't particularly wide. It's about like a normal, if I were just stepping, a normal stride kind of, that's probably a little long. So just a normal step. The reason is I've got to be able, I'm going to switch so I can go sideways here. Switch to my short one again. The reason is because I've got to be able to change where my weight is quickly. So if I'm here and I thrust off my rear leg, I can also do this little shift. Again, front heel's off the floor. All I'm going to do to shift where my weight is rooted, right now, of course, it's rooted in my rear foot, is go like this. Quick little bump, like this. Bump. So I'm on my rear leg, front leg. Rear leg, front leg. Okay? And so I can thrust from the rear, right? Or I can shift, thrust to the front. You can see why I have my shorter spear now. I would have put a nice hole in the wall if I had the long one. And then I come back to my ready. So this is a good way to practice this shift. First, of course, you can just root in that front leg, boom, and go, okay, I'm going to thrust from the front. Let your rear foot come along at first and keep that rear toe down to help provide a little more stability. So you're just going to go thrust, boom, boom, and that just helps you, keep that stability there. If I switch it around, and again, got to drop those elbows, same as before. But if I'm here and I want to thrust up, my front heel's up, I change that. You can start from that position just to get that spiral up. You're going to spiral up and sink, spiral up, sink. Notice how my front knee is well bent, elbows bent here, spiral up, sink, and see automatically I sat back down in my rear foot, trying to stay here so I can just spiral up, sink, spiral up, sink, spiral up, sink, spiral up, and sink. Okay, just get that nice spiraling up, pushing up out of your front leg, right? Then we can do that so we shift back and forth. And now you notice I've switched up to my left. So at home, of course, you might start with your right if that's what you're used to, but then make sure you work both sides equally. Here I'm on my rear foot, so front heel is up, and I'm going to spring off my back leg. Both elbows are down, sink, change, front, back, front, see, and back leg, front leg, back leg. Right? If I switch sides, it's going to be back leg, front leg, back leg, front leg, back leg, front leg. And what I'm doing there, of course, I'm getting used to being able to make that nice smooth change between my legs, springing from the front and springing from the back, vice versa. Get to make that a nice, quick, easy change. So you can think of, let's say, moving hand, push hands. You might push off your back leg, right? Push off the back, boom, front, bump, bump, or even in your fixed step push hands. 1, 2, bump, bump, that you can, with ease and with power transmitting through your body, practice. Boom, boom. Yeah, I might push, 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 push. And you get used to, I'm off my back leg, I'm off my front leg, whether or not you bring up that heel. Later, we're going to do in the second of this series is we're going to work on how to put the half stepping together with this. So we're going to do this moving. Man, this is not just exercises. At this point, you could look at what we're doing as just sort of training with a spear. This in itself is its own little exercise. But what we're going to do is actually put together this little form. It's not a very long form. The next part is using that half stepping forward and back. So what do we got so far? We did thrusting from the rear leg with the Kai Ho Fa. Now we got to do the front leg. So we had 1, 2, 3. Assuming I did that on my front leg. 1, 2, 3 is what we had. So we had the open, close, open C's, thrust, Kai Ho Fa. Now that was my back leg. Front heel's up there. Now what I'm going to do is open C's. My front heel's up. Change that. Boom. Change that. Thrust. Open C's. Thrust. Open C's. Thrust. And at this point, you'll see my rear heel is coming up and I'm keeping my toe down. We're going to bring it up in a moment, but at first, just for stability, when you're starting, especially if you switch to a longer spear like this, it's a good idea to just keep that down. Just at first, just a little handicap, help keep you stable when you're starting this practice. So from here, remember, tip is at the throat level, bent. The butt end is right by my hip, eyes and head up, coccyx is down. Breathing in dantian, and it's going to be open, seize, thrust. Open, seize, thrust. Both hands working, both hands working, both hands working, both moving together all the time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and back. And then what we're going to do is switch it up so that the front leg does come forward, or excuse me, the rear leg comes forward as we spring off the front leg. So from here, we're going to be Kai Ho Fa, Kai Ho Fa, Kai Ho Fa, Kai Ho Fa. And if I go a little bit Let me switch to my shorter one again. One of these days, I'm probably going to put a hole in the wall. But let's go ahead and go for the short one here. So almost hand goes off the end. I'm so used to the longer one. It's going to be open, seize, thrust. Open, seize, and that is fa, release, actually not thrust. Where does my foot go? Always a good question. Ball the foot. It's right in line with the ankle. That's a very important detail. Want to really get that down. Not a bad idea. Set your spear aside sometimes and go, okay, let's go to there. Boom. Spring up, ready. Spring up, ready. And just get used to doing this transition. And spring. Reason I can spring right away is my knee here is bent. And when I switch, it's already bent. I'm not standing like this, put it flat. That's no power, no spring. My knee's bent, shift it, spring off of it. So from here, it's going to be open, seize, thrust. Notice how my elbows are down. Open, both hands are going to really go boom, far apart. Just a fist from the chest there. Close and seize, thrust. By coming close, you can see the movements nicely. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Open, seize, thrust. Open, seize, thrust. Palms are up. Palms change. Front palm down. Rear palm is kind of coiled around there. Both palms up, elbows down. All right. One last thing to do is to round these all up. And really, again, I want to remind everybody, I know I've done it repeatedly, but it's so important to not overdo it at first. I would say even as it begins to come along and you're getting good at it and you're feeling like, okay, I'm building my power, mechanics feel good. Maybe for the first 3 months, just do 85% of what you think you can do. Just do it a little less powerfully, a few less reps. After 3 months, after 6 months, if it feels good, okay. Get the bigger spear, put more power into it, gradually build that up. But take your time doing that, because if you injure yourself, what good is that? And then you have to rest it. It takes maybe 2 or 3 months. You come back to being able to do it again. So take your time and get it right. Perfect your mechanics before you start really putting a lot of power in. All right, last thing we want to do is to be able to shift from the forward and back leg thrust, or fa, release. So from here, I want to go open, seize, back leg. Open, seize, front leg. Open, seize, back leg. Open, seize, front leg. And you see how this gets me moving between my legs. Start it fixed, learn it fixed. Kind of look at it here over my shoulder. I want to start with 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right? See how I can hold it. Body mechanics, keep that nice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that gets everything clear. Your axle's clear. You're coming from your leg through your root, through your body. All that's good. Then start nice and slow and see if you can shift back and forth every other one. So you get used to being on the front leg. I have my release, step and sink into your root, sink into your root, back leg, back leg, back leg, front leg, back leg, shifting to the back, 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 front, back, back, back leg, back leg, back leg, front leg, back leg, back leg, back leg, back to ready. Please always finish in a good ready position. Just good, kind of nice, crisp mind intent. Don't kind of finish and go, oh, tired. You're going to be tired. Show some spirit, some determination. It's for you, not for anybody else. Finish here, and then you can raise your spear up, put it by your side to finish. Okay, this is the foundation, the first in the series, this Kai Ho Fa movements from our Yangjia Michuan Taiji Jian form. Step 1, next time we get into moving forward and moving back with half stepping. I hope this is useful for your practice. If it is, you like it, always appreciate the thumbs up. Leave a comment. If you've got a question, please post it. I'll do my best to get back and answer as quick as I can. Until next time, everybody, stay strong. 再见.